Welcome back to Oz Arab Media. Today, we're joined once again by two incredibly talented creatives who brought Lebanese-Australian family to life, to the stage, in a way that had audiences laughing, looking back, and feeling completely seen. After the huge success of Yalla to Lebanon, writers and performers James Elazzi and Antony Makhlouf are returning with a brand new, upgraded version of the show, which is called Yalla to Lebanon Upgraded, for one special night at the Seymour Centre. James, Antony, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Of course, always a pleasure. So we are hearing that you guys are back, and after the incredible response to the very first season, what made you both decide to bring Yalla to Lebanon back for another run?
For me, it was the feeling of community in that room that night that I was not expecting. It felt like we had created this community of Lebanese-Australian families, and they had somewhere to go to enjoy, have a laugh, and feel the joy of the story.
Amazing. What about you?
Yeah, the response was so positive and we felt connected to our roots and to our family. Then seeing the next generation, like my nephews and niece, connect with their culture was special. And then there's also a lot of people that wanted to see the show that missed out. So we're like, let's put it on again and let everyone enjoy
amazing. That is amazing. Look, even me, my family, my kids, even though they don't understand a lot of Arabic, but they were all onto it. So that's incredible. So this version is called Yalla to Lebanon Upgraded. So without giving too much, as usual, what's actually been upgraded on this around the time?
We had the pleasure of having it on the first time, and as artists, we're all constantly evolving, and we've shaped the story in a tighter way that we were able to sit back and go, what do we need? What should we take out? And we wanted to bring it more into present day.
Right.
And it's bigger, it's funnier, it's more heartfelt, it's more joyous.
So yeah, we've edited the story a bit, we've renovated it.
I was going to ask, is it a follow-up? Like, is it a continuous or just a different
It's
story?
a different version of the same thing.
Okay.
So we've cut away a bit of, there was a witchcraft in it, we've kind of got rid of that.
Okay.
And also we've got on board a production team. So we've got, it's got to look a little bit different as well. So we have a very talented designer, Sam Wiley, who's on board, and we're going to do some fly-in, so that it's got to be a bit more elevated.
Amazing. Yeah. So literally upgraded.
Yeah, for sure.
That's amazing. Look, one thing the audiences loved last time was how real the family dynamics was, right? It felt real. From the yelling to the overfeeding to the drama that the Lebanese do sometimes. How much of the play comes really from real life experiences or stories that you guys grew up with?
All of it. I feel like I think the best way to be as an artist is to be honest and truthful and to draw from your own world. So we just wrote from our own life experiences, our own travels to Lebanon. And I think when you do work authentically, that's why the community connects, because they can see their culture on the stage. And yeah, a lot of it's from our own lived experiences and what we've seen.
Amazing.
I couldn't have said it better. I think a lot of, like some of that airport scene, literally I've lived through. So
And the Panamax, always taking Panamax for family.
The Ada at home. My dad used to make Ada in the garage. And so we wanted to infuse all that into the story.
That's amazing. Look, the overfeeding part, my kids were like, oh, such a teta. Can you hear teta? Can you hear in the crowd? So that was amazing to see how a real life is going on. Amazing. Look, the play touches on so many Lebanese-Australian to relate to. Maybe that feeling of belonging to two places at once between Australia and Lebanon. Why was it so important for you to explore this theme on stage between, like, we can tell this is typically Lebanese and this is typically Aussie. How important was for you to put all this together on stage?
For me, it's vital. I think we don't have enough of it. I think it's so important that we have these stories on stage for the younger generation to come to the theatre and be like, okay, I can see myself on that stage. I can bring my teta and my judo as well. And as a family, I can't actually name you a show that I would be proud to take my grandparents and my mother to that has Lebanese-Australian stories.
Yes.
So we're proud to create this work and continuously improve it.
Amazing. What about you?
Yeah, I keep referencing my nephews, and like my nephew is 5 years old, and to see him sit there and see footage of Lebanon, be it through the war or the beauty of it today, and have him ask questions afterwards. I think that's what we want to do as well. Like, we're very aware that our parents are immigrants. We were born here. What about the next generation? How do we carry on like the Lebanese culture, our stories? I think it's a fun way to do it on the stage with humour. Obviously, there's a bit of a hard past we need to wrestle
Nostalgia,
with, but it's part of our identity. So
amazing, and it's important to create those conversations between the generations. Like, oh, did you really pass there, or did that really happen? So it's really interesting. Now, I have a very emotional question. I hope we can get through it. What were some of the reactions from the audience members that, after the first session, really stayed with you personally?
I had a certain older woman come to me at the end. She reached out and she said that was the first time she saw her family on the stage.
Wow.
First time, and she's been here for 50 years.
Wow.
And I think it's so important that there are shows that have been on in the past, in the thousands and the 90s, but we want to sort of move away from the stereotypes.
Yes.
That is really, really important. It's fundamental to me.
And more relatable. Like, the 90s is different than now. So,
So absolutely, and we don't, and also we've got new generations and new migrants coming from Lebanon. How do we want to present ourselves as Lebanese-Australians in particular? Yeah.
Nice.
we had some responses. There was some footage of the Civil War.
Yeah.
And I was on stage and I was peering into the audience while this montage was happening, and I saw that there were people that were reacting to it. And I don't know if it was necessarily a good or bad thing. I don't know if it was like triggering for some people, but it was quite emotional, because I think one of the motivations for us to put this on was I've heard a lot of Lebanese Australians talk about Lebanon being broken, war-torn.
Yes.
It's not nice. And I feel like you can't put a lens of a Western culture and look at a country that's been through so much. Australia hasn't gone through the same thing Lebanon has.
Yes.
So that putting those footage in was trying to put some understanding as to why Lebanon might be in the state that it is, to come to some kind of understanding, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, look, we can't tell if it's good or bad, because a lot of people had bad experiences, emotional experiences, but they still want to look back to to their home and say, you know, it is Allah when we went here, or oh, see how that was before war. I personally, we had this nostalgia, so I can't. I'm talking about myself. Amazing. Look, for a long time, Lebanese-Australian stories weren't really visible in the mainstream theatre, just like you guys mentioned, and maybe different than before. How important is it for you both to create stories where our community can finally see itself as it is, represented authentically?
I think it's, as I said before, I think it's just so vital. It's so important. I still don't see it enough. I do see stuff, again. It's stuff that I expect to see, and it's stuff that places us in a certain light. But our stories are unique. They're driven by strong women, men that are trailblazers, families that are unique. Where are those stories? And I don't want to be the fashion, storyline of the week.
Yeah.
I want to say we're part of the fabric storytelling of this country.
Yeah.
But we need to create work that is really, really strong. But specifically this work, there's a lot of pain and suffering in the world at the moment, but we want to infuse a lot of joy.
Yes.
We want to make people laugh.
Good.
And there's more heart in this version.
Nice.
Upgraded version too.
Amazing.
And yeah, like, not to be, I think it's very important.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too political, but like, my last trip to Lebanon was just in December, January.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that there's a genre where like a lot of the Lebanese, not forgetting their culture, but they're leaning towards like,
Westernization.
yes, let's go and get like pizza and burgers. It's like, no, let's get like neish and so I think
go to Starbucks rather than go have a ahwe.
And there's room for everything, but I do see that there's this trend towards leaning towards that. And so I think it's very important for like these shows to be put on, so that even, the diaspora are remembering their roots, are remembering their stories, their cultures, their cities, their history. So I think it's very important. Yeah, I'm a little patriotic Lebanese. I am Australian. Like,
we're both and that's what's nice about your shows that you put on, that you remind us that we're both. So that's amazing. Is it harder? I don't want to harder. How are you trying to please in these shows? Like when you have the audience out there and they're watching, are you trying to please someone like the mom, the dad, the auntie, the kids? Who are you trying to please?
I think I have all of those figures in my family.
Right.
And like specifically this work, as opposed to my other work in other theatre, which is aimed at pleasing nobody but myself.
Okay.
But this one in particular is if I can please my mum and she laughs and she walks out and she feels proud,
Okay.
that's my job done.
Amazing.
Yes.
So are you telling me that mums are the hardest to please in every Lebanese family?
Look, my mum's going to look at me and go, oh, Habibi, like, فيش أحسن منها هيدي. But like, I want, Mum, what did you really think? And she gives me the truth and she's
the
happy.
Truth, yeah.
Then that's
Amazing.
I've passed.
Anthony, who is the hardest to please in the family?
The same. I think this is for my mum. It's a love letter to my mum. And I grew up with stories about, she lived in Beirut, in Bebedris, and always telling us the stories about what she used to do in the 60s.
Lovely.
And so this is for her, in a sense. I guess I'm a mama's boy, I don't know.
That's lovely. I hope mums you're hearing this and watching this because all this hard work is for you.
Amen.
All right, that's amazing. If I want one beautiful thing about this play is that it speaks to everyone. Right? We are laughing about, pleasing mom or dad, but it truly speaks to everyone, to the grandparents, to the parents, and the younger generations all at once. What does it mean to create a show for the family, the whole family, that can genuinely give the experience for all together?
It is difficult. I think the more specific you are, the more you will reach the rest of the family.
Yeah.
I think if you write a work that is going to be aimed at the kids, the grandparents, and you're going to lose somebody.
Yes.
So just focus on the storyline. What do you want to say? What is important to you? What is important to us as the writers and the creators? And then we'll be like, let's just write it out, and whoever connects to it, connects to it. And there's also history in the arts in this country that help us and teach us
True.
how to write work like this.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I think for me, I personally want to find an experience that unifies the family.
Right.
I think today, there's so many options for kids to hang out by themselves, teenagers to hang out. Whereas I think we're creating an event where they can all come together, and it's got that added thing of being that cultural element, which is important.
Lovely. It's great that you're still being able to do this in this world because, they usually detach themselves, the generations, from each other. So to be able to go to one place and all enjoy, hats off. Now, for anyone still thinking to come to the show this year or maybe hesitating on buying the tickets, what would you like to say to convince them to come to Yalla to Lebanon Upgraded? And that's a night that they shouldn't miss.
I will promise you it is probably one of the best nights you'll have this year because we put so much work into just one night.
Amazing.
Usually all this work would go to a whole season of 3 weeks of shows, but we're just doing one night. And so you're getting bang for your buck. That ticket that you're buying is going to be absolutely worth it. If it's not, at the end, my name isn't James.
Okay, his name isn't James in the end. No, I agree. What about you, Anthony?
Absolutely. Like, you will get your money's worth for sure. You'll come out laughing. Like, during the rehearsal period last time, we could not get through some moments because it was just so funny. And so naturally it comes to the show. But we've got, drummers, we've got professional actors, we've got a new designer on board who's doing design for some great shows. So it's really good to elevate it, and you'll definitely have a great night.
Amazing. And why is it just a one night, just off script?
It's so expensive. It's so expensive.
It's expensive to hire.
As simple as is. It's
Business.
So yeah. Economically.
We were invited to put it on at the Seymour Centre. It was a pure invite, and she's given us a little bit of a discount because she wants to stay connected to the work.
She loved the show.
She loved the show.
Amazing.
So that's how.
So economically, we can't really have more than one show at the moment because of all the the theatre hiring and all that.
But I think in future we might
do a season.
Reconsider.
And probably a smaller venue.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And finally, before we wrap up, after this upgraded version of the show, what's next for both of you? More of a Lebanese-Australian stories? Another play? something bigger, something different? What's going to bring both of you back to us?
It's still a secret. We can't say yet.
Yeah.
There is something
There is
coming.
There's something. All
It's gotta be
right.
Under the
exciting.
Kazi umbrella, we've
Yes.
cooked
Okay.
up something. Yeah.
Amazing. Just promise me. Oz Arab Media will be the first to know and
course
bring
we-
a bang with you together.
And Christine.
Yeah.
on the
I guess
line.
there we go. Amazing, guys. Look, time flies by when you're having fun and when you're doing something really amazing for your country and the country that you live in. So thank you so much, both of you, for hopping on board and for growing the connection between the Lebanese and the Australian and taking us back to our roots. So thank you for whatever you're doing, and I wish you all the luck for this show.
Thank you so much. Thanks for what you do.
Of course, no worries at all. And always, and before we go for our audiences, Yalla to Lebanon upgraded at Seymour Centre, Sydney. One special night only. Tickets available at the link below. Bring your family, bring your teta, bring your jiddo, bring your friends, bring everyone, and get ready for a night full of laughter, nostalgia, and stories that feel literally like home. Hope to see you all there. And until next time, this was Christine on Oz Arab Media. See you then.